as Milan is on pole position. Mika alongside in the Alpine. Who leads into turn 1? Will it be Milan? Will it be Mika? Or will it be one of the cars behind? As we get ready for the 5 lights to go on. 3, 4, 5 lights on now. And the lights are out. Milan gets a good start. The AlphaTauri behind of Yagizan gets a good start as well. He still is behind the McLaren, but the McLaren of Davy on the outside of the Alpine. Now in P2. But is still battling with Mika. Mika, though, has that inside line. But Davy is ahead. Now has the inside line for the left-hander. And Davy is in P2. Overtakes Mika at the start. Julian still in P4. Then wide is the Red Bull of Jars. On the inside, the AlphaTauri of Yagizan. And holds on to P5. Black Box, though, still in P7. So not a perfect start from him. But he can still make up a lot of positions this race. Still has to be patient as he makes a move on the Red Bull driver of Jars. Can't make the move stick though, as Milan is already 1 second ahead of the pack. It's Milan from Davy, from Mika, from Julian, from Yagizan. As there's a battle for P11 going on now. Fruitful going on the outside of the Haas of Cameron. It is into P10 as they make contact. It's Cameron into the wall. He does not have damage, it appears, from his front wing, but he is into the wall, making contact with Fruitful, and it's Haas, 19 and 20 in this race. An all too familiar sight in real Formula 1, but now in the Portuguese Grand Prix as well. Ahead of Damiano, as there's a virtual safety car. And unfortunately he did that on the virtual safety car when there's no need for pushing, as Jerry van Bussel gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. No other driver seems to have got a penalty, as there's a crash in front, a massive crash in front. Julian and Joyce are out immediately, as I think there were some other cars involved as well. So Julian and Joyce both out of the Grand Prix. Meneer van den Bergen a bit slow, and Fruitful wants to overtake the Alpine. He has the benefit of more speed, and he now overtakes the Alpine driver who's still on the outside. Now he's past the Alpine, so Fruitful into P6 from P11 on the grid. But the Alpine tries to make a move. He's on the inside. Will he go for the dive? Yes, he will. There is a little bit of contact, but Fruitful hangs around on the outside and is in front of Meneer van den Bergen. Awesome move by Fruitful, amazing defending from him, and nice move from Meneer van den Bergen to try to get past Fruitful once again. Pushes Fruitful off the circuit. They're still side by side, going into sector 3. Now Fruitful going for another dive bomb. Sven has the perfect view of this battle. Fruitful on the outside of the final corner, and that gives Meneer van den Bergen the inside line. Fruitful, though, can he get the catapult exit onto the main straight to get in front of Meneer van den Bergen? No, he can't. He slots in behind him. But on the main straight, can he push the ERS to get past? He is alongside Meneer van den Bergen. Let's look from the view of the Alpine driver. He's alongside going into turn 1. Fruitful on the inside. Meneer van den Bergen on the outside now gets past Meneer van den Bergen. Awesome move by Fruitful. Side by side for half a lap, as now Sven goes down the inside as well. Can he hold on? There's a little bit of contact. Meneer van den Bergen losing out on 2 positions. Can Mika overtake him as well? He's side by side with Meneer van den Bergen. Can Meneer van den Bergen hold on to P8? Mika trying to get the switchback. That's an awesome move. There's yellow sector 1, as I think the Haas of Joey has spun around. Meneer van den Bergen holds on to P8 ahead of his teammate. Will his teammate go for the dive bomb? No, he won't. So Meneer van den Bergen is still in P8. Just 0.6 of a second from Yagizan, and now looking to the front of the field is Milan from Davy. They are close as well, as Milan is going into the pit lane and looking at the track. It is drying up as the fastest lap goes to Fruitful. Goes to Black Box. Fruitful taking a 30-second time penalty for track limits. 2 drivers are going onto the medium compound from the leading driver. So it's Milan, who was leading this race, is going onto the medium tire, and Yagizan onto the soft compound. Davy heads into the pit lane. Black Box heads into the pit lane. And what about Johnson and Fruitful? They will head into pit lane as well. So I guess every driver that hasn't got into the pit lane the previous lap will go into the pit lane now. But let's go on board with Yagi-san. I think this will be the outlap that he waited for. Oh, almost losing the rear of his car due to the damp conditions. Will the Davy in the McLaren get out in front of Yagi-san? He's already on the main straight. Davy on the right hand side, and he goes into the lead of the Portuguese Grand Prix. Davy in P2 side by side for Black Box and Milan. The two Mercedes dueling it out on track. Black Box in P4, Milan in P3. Black Box really close behind his teammate. Black Box is pushing. Milan does not seem to push. Can he hold on to P3? Can he hold off his teammate? Black Box is going for the move into turn 1. The two Mercedes are side by side. Black Box going for the move in turn 1. Getting past his teammates. And Milan relegated down to P4. Now Black Box and Davy, championship leaders, P1 and P2, are P2 and P3 on track. So this will have a direct impact on the championship. 9 points separating them in the Drivers' Championship. There's Rowan in the Williams, already up to P8. Good start from him. Now let's look at Meneer van den Berg. He's on a soft compound. He has 30% of ERS left. I don't think Fruitful is even defending at all. He knows Meneer van den Berg is faster at this moment, and he should be on the soft compound. So Meneer van den Berg goes past, and Fruitful relegated down to P7. Davy now has the prime opportunity to make a move on the Turkish driver. Black Box wants to get on as well. Black Box is pushing all the ERS he has. He doesn't have any ERS left. Now Black Box is side by side with Yagi-san. No, he is not, but Davy got past Yagi-san. Yagi-san now a 3-second time penalty. Black Box wanted to go side by side with Yagi-san. Couldn't manage it, but now is behind Yagi-san once again. He has the DRS. He is pushing all the DRS he has. Will he make the move? No, he won't. And this is crucial for Davy. Davy now can create a gap to Black Box. Be able. Oh, as the Mercedes of Milan is off in turn 1, promoting Janssen into P4, Rowan in P5, Damian in P6, and Fruitful getting through as well. But the Mercedes of Milan off the track, and now in P8, after starting on pole position, having overheated his tires as well. You can see he's just skating around on the track, as now Meneer van den Berg is trying to get a move on Milan. Oh no! They've crashed! Milan is out. Meneer van den Berg and Milan was side by side at the hairpin, and that's the safety car. So the safety car is out here at Portugal. Both drivers retire from the race, Milan and Meneer van den Berg. Let's look in the bottom right hand corner to the throttle pedal. Now he goes onto the power. It's a good restart from Damiano. Davy gets a good restart as well. Black Box though dropping behind, and now is being overtaken by the Ferrari of Johnson. So Black Box losing a position at the restart. Yagi-san losing a position as well. Janssen into P3, and he holds on to P3. But Black Box trying to get the position on Yagi-san, as he does on the soft compound, is making the soft compound work, as Janssen now trying to overtake Damiano is in P2 in the race. Janssen in P2 in the Ferrari, and Black Box trying to overtake Damiano as well. Damiano in the old mediums. Black Box trying to go for the inside, is making the dive bomb, and he is side by side with Damiano in the McLaren. He is pushing a little bit of ERS to not lose a lot of time to the train in front, and he can't make the move as of yet. So Damiano holding up his Black Box. Damiano playing the team game for Davy, and Black Box losing a lot of time here. Can't get past the McLaren, and looking at the train behind, they're all being held up by the McLaren. So Black Box needs to get a move on. This is a prime opportunity for Black Box. Damian does not have the DRS. Black Box does have the DRS. Can he make the move on the McLaren work? He goes side by side with him. Yagizan is in the mix as well. Yagizan goes for the inside in turn 1 as Black Box goes into the podium positions. Yagizan is ahead of Damiano as Fruitful now goes for the inside of Damiano. He's a sitting duck on the straight. Now Rowan in the Williams goes for the move as well. But Damiano holds on to P5 for now. Red Bull off. Fruitful goes for the inside on Damiano. Damiano losing on for another position. He's still side by side with Fruitful. He can't make the move work. That's a little bit of contact. Damiano slots in behind Fruitful. And he's relegated down a few positions. There's contact between Mika and Damiano. Mika now goes for the move after making a little bit of contact with the McLaren driver, and he's ahead. Now Rowan losing positions to his Williams teammate, Bottle, and that means Rowan is now in P9. And Mika tries to go around the outside of Rowan. There's a little bit of contact, but Rowan holds on to P9 as Jagi's on a Fruitful in a battle, and it's so close here for P4 in the race. Look at all these drivers in this train, and it's Fruitful that's trying to apply the pressure on Yagizan with the medium tires, but Mika is now side by side with the Red Bull driver. He's pushing his ERS. They're both pushing their ERS. They're opening the DRS, and Fruitful into P4. He's side by side with Mika, and Mika is into P5 as Damiano is now spun around at turn 1. As the drama continues, they're making a lot of move on each other, and Damiano had one move too many, is spun around at turn 1, while the Williams drivers are still side by side. Rowan now into P7, go around the outside of the hairpin after the DRS zone, and it's still side by side with the teammate Bottle, and it's Rowan in P7. Janssen can make a move on Davy if he wants to, but Davy has a superior level of ERS left in his engine, in his car, and is able to defend if Janssen wants to try to make a move. But let's look behind. Mika is now trying to make the move on Fruitful. Fruitful is not pushing the ERS because he does not have any ERS. Now it's Mika back into P4, and the Alpine moves into the top 4 with Fruitful relegated down 1 position. Yagizan on the medium tires is able to hold on. As Fruitful goes a bit wide, can Yagizan make the move on the Red Bull driver? Let's go on board with it. He is pushing his ERS. Fruitful tries to defend the inside into the hairpin, and Yagizan tries to go around the outside. Can he hold on? He goes a bit off track, is pushed wide by Fruitful, but that's fair racing. He's still side by side with Fruitful, but Fruitful holds on to the position as both drivers struggle to manage the level of ERS, but Fruitful still ahead as Joey gets another 3-second time penalty. Rowan is now pushing for the move on Yagizan. He's side by side with him, and he tries to go for the move on Fruitful as well, but he made the move work on Yagizan. He's pushed a little bit wide, but he's into P6. Now, once again, behind his old teammate Fruitful in P5. Fruitful does not have the DRS from Mika at this moment in time, and I don't think he'll have it at the detection point. No, he won't. So Rowan has the DRS, and Fruitful does not have the DRS. Can Rowan make the move on Fruitful? Fruitful's already blinking, so his ERS levels are pretty low. Rowan's aren't high either, as now Rowan gets in front of Fruitful. Now Kaya gets an awesome run going out of that corner, has the DRS on Fruitful. Fruitful has to defend, does not have the DRS. Fruitful forces him to the inside of the hairpin, but he gets ahead. Kaya now into P6. Fruitful still around the outside, regains the position off track. That's pretty fair racing if you ask me, because Kaya pushed him a little bit wide, but Fruitful did get 3 seconds worth of time penalties for the move he made. Jagisan now 1.5 tenths behind Fruitful. He is going for the move on Fruitful. Can he make the move work? He's still side by side with the Red Bull driver. And now, Red Bull driver goes for the move. He tries to hold on to his P7. But now, Yagizan is the inside line, and he is up to P7. So Yagizan regaining the position on Fruitful. And look at the clouds in the sky. it is starting to get darker here in the Algarve as Fruitful once again tries to go for a move on Yagizan, trying to get the position back. They're side by side at the start finish line, and side by side into turn 1. Yagizan off track. Still, Fruitful has the inside line, and now it's back into P7, but Yagizan has the inside line for the next corner, and is back into P7 as Fruitful once again goes off the track. Bit forced wide by Yagizan, but Borrell is in the fight as well. Now Yagizan a bit squeezed by both drivers, and is now behind them. Can Borrell though make the move on Fruitful around the outside? No, he can't, and Yagizan almost going into the back of Borrell, but Fruitful holding on to P7, and once again not having the DRS from Kaya. It's still getting darker and darker and darker. But when will the rain hit? Ball now flashing with the light, and I think I see rain. Yes, there is rain. Rain hitting the circuit at this moment in time. So that will mean the cars would have to box or gamble to stay out on the slick tire in the hopes that it would not intensify. DRS is disabled, so that is the signal for the drivers to head into the pit lane. Davy is now heading into the pit lane, as is Janssen. Black Box is heading into the pit lane as well, and I think every one of the remaining drivers will head into the pit lane. Let's look at Rowan. And he is now massively gaining on Borrell. He was in P5 when boxing. Can he get in front? And looking at Borrell, he continued on his way on the soft tires. He did not box, so he's gambling to stay out. Oh, as Rowan almost loses his car, he's gambling to stay out on the soft tires. I don't think that will be the fastest strategy, but let's see if he's right. Mika getting out in front of Rowan, so Rowan losing a position, but immediately trying to get the position back on Mika. Mika around the outside, onto the gravel almost, and Rowan now into P5 once again. For the longest part of the dry stint, and now the move for the lead of the race has already been made. Davy overtook Borrell, coming out of the final corner, and now Borrell into the pit lane. No, he won't go into the pit lane, so Borrell thinks staying out is the best thing to do. I don't think it's the best thing to do for Borrell, as now Janssen is putting pressure on the Williams driver and is already past the Williams driver, having no grip at all. Borrell needs to box this lap to get any sort of result out of the race, as Janssen now is suffering from a little bit of understeer. Now Black Box is side by side with Janssen. Janssen relegated down to P3, which means Black Box is into P2 as Rowan makes a move for Borrell, makes a move for P4 on Borrell. Of course, Borrell having no grip whatsoever. Let's look on board with Black Box, because he's gaining on Davy, but I don't think it's enough. Can he maybe push Davy into a mistake by putting him under pressure as Joey comes up, as this yellow sector 2? What has happened there? Rowan and Janssen and Mika in a battle. I think there has been an incident with Janssen. What has happened? Janssen does not have any fuel whatsoever! Janssen out of fuel! And is overtaken left, right and center. He is ghosted, so everyone will overtake him. He does not have any fuel left in this race, so he's out. Can he hold on though to P10 for a points paying position? Borrell is 25 seconds down on Janssen. Remember, Borrell is on the soft compound. I don't think these tires are faster than a Ferrari on Inters with no fuel. I think Janssen will hold on to P10 without any fuel. But who's holding on to the victory is Davy. He went in TFL once again. He is P1 with his championship rival Black Box. Now the gap at the top of the championship, 16 points in favor of Davy. Rowan in P3 for his first race and his first podium in TFL. Mika in P4 and it's Yagizan in P5. Kaya in P6. P7 for Fruitful as he has spun around at the start finish. Damiano finishes in P8, just 18 thousandths of a second slower are behind Fruitful after time penalties had been applied. Janssen in P9 holds on to P9, and Bol now getting to the finish line on his soft tires. But Davy winning once again in TFL.